Got him. Oh, big crappie. Nice. Oh, crap, get in here. All right. Yeah, that's a nice one. That's a big one. Shoo, that one was hard to catch. Pretty black crappie, guys. It's about 46 degrees right now with about a 15-mile-an-hour wind, so it's a little bit chilly, and that's not always fun, but it signals crappie in the creek time. That's what it signals for most people that don't really understand the process. And guys, you're gonna find a lot of people giving you advice about that situation when they don't actually have any knowledge of the situation. Just because you've gone to a creek or you've got a buddy shoot you a pin drop, or even content creators have viewers sending them pin drops. Oh, they're biting right here, they're biting right there. They run out and make videos and then try to give you a bunch of advice, and they actually have no clue of what's going on. During the summertime, water temperatures reach 90-degree surface temperatures here in Texas. Creeks and rivers that aren't that deep, they don't get much cooler than that as the water gets deeper. You might lose a few degrees, but it's still too hot, high 80s at best. Water that hot has no dissolved oxygen or very, very little. Game fish species can't survive in low oxygenated areas. So you're going to find these fish out in the main lake, down above the thermocline, but down deep enough where the temperature's stable, oxygen stable, and there is food, which means shad in Texas. Once the temperature of the water drops to 70 degrees or below, the water becomes much more oxygenated. Cold water, high oxygen, dissolved oxygen level. Hot water, low dissolved oxygen level. Once you reach this right here, the low water temp, high oxygen level, that's a precursor for crappie to follow shad into shallow areas. Here's the thing people do not understand. Everyone thinks it has something to do with our ambient air temperature or the water temperature. It does not. It has to do with time of day, how long the day is. Once the days start getting shorter during the fall, and once the days start getting longer in the spring, it triggers movement in the fish regardless of water temperature. Now, all things play a part. We still have to have dissolved oxygen content, which does bring water temperature into the fold at some point. Once the water temperature dissolves oxygen is where we need it, then we need the bait to follow that pattern. Your creeks that don't have fish in them don't have bait in them. Even a few creeks that will get some bait in them, the crappie just won't go in there. That's the one we can't figure out. And we are working on that right now. We're trying to figure out why those creeks do not hold a fish, all right? But other ones, they do. Here's the problem. There's some very popular creeks that the crappie and bait go into every year. Well, those creeks get really populated with anglers. So the banks are crowded, there's a lot of people, too much is going on in those areas, and you don't really want to go fish there, but sometimes you don't have a choice. You'll see me make videos there from time to time because it's low-hanging fruit. I'm bringing you guys along today to show you how I figure out where to start. This season we've had a drought. We've had low water conditions, low rainfall amounts. We've been watching the gauges on the lakes. Most of the lakes are really low. This is a problem for the creeks. Most of these creeks have pretty good depth. Problem is right at the mouth where the creeks have been running all of these years, they build up silt. So you go from 7 or 8 foot deep, some of them are all the way to 16 to 19 feet deep, and all of a sudden, boom, you've got this big ramp up right at the mouth, and you're up 2-3 foot deep. That's when the lake's normal. So you may only have 2 to 3 foot of depth going into the creek, and then as soon as you get past the silt, the creek drops off and you're good for the rest of the way. Well, this year, not good. We are completely isolated from some of the creeks. They are sealed off. No water between the creek and the lake. They're cut completely off. You do not want to go and spend all day long of your only fishing day of the month fishing creeks that the fish can't go into. So what we're going to do right now is we're gonna get the drone out and we're gonna fly it and we're gonna look at the mouth and we're gonna run the creeks. We're looking for 3 things. We're looking for debris, we're looking for, is that creek cut off, and we are looking for watercolor. Chocolate milk, no go. Do not go if it looks like chocolate milk. The fish will not be there, oxygen level's too low. Yoo-hoo, starting to get to that cleared up spot where the fish are gonna start moving back in. Maybe a little hard to find them, they could be there. Stained water, which looks a little muddy down but has about 2 through 3 foot of visibility from the shore, perfect. That's what you're looking for. That's what I'm looking for today. If you see a lot of debris on the water surface, twigs and little speckles of like mess and leaves and all that, that's been washed into the creek from the watershed. That means the water's too muddy. Don't go, okay? So I'm using the drone. If you don't have a drone, you're gonna have to walk this out. If you can't walk to the mouth, you're gonna have to come in with the kayak, and I did that in another video I'll be releasing this week. I'm gonna show you how I accidentally wasted an entire trip just to find out the creek that I went to in the kayak was completely sealed off from the lake, and I had to start all over right there. So let's get the drone out, let's get it in the air, and let's get over to this first creek. We're gonna see what's going on, and we're gonna check several creeks today, and I'm gonna show you all that footage. So I formatted the SD card so that it's blank. So let's get this drone in the air and see if that creek is fishable. So everything you see right there that looks like dirt or brown grass was previously underwater, maybe 6 months ago. Look at the color of that water. It's disgusting. It's absolutely unfishable. But the most important thing is, let's look at this creek mouth. Goodness, that is narrow. Look at the color of this water. It's disturbing. That's really shallow right there. Guys, that's like a foot deep maybe at the most. There's no way crappie swimming in through that mouth. This is coming back toward the creek from the main lake. Again, it's just really shallow. It's really dirty. It's got a lot of debris in it. But let me show you something as we come around this corner up here. Right here's the main creek channel, the one that you would actually walk up to and try to fish. If you walked up from the bank at the back of this creek somewhere and you saw it, it would look fine. It looks full. It looks like you could fish it, and you can't because it's nearly completely cut off from the lake. It's holding water like a slough or a bayou. It's full of water, and the water is very, very dirty. Look at this. Never, ever, ever fish anything that looks like that. That was creek number 1, guys. Completely unfishable. Chocolate milk, tons of floating debris, really nasty, and is almost completely cut off from the lake. Fish will go into shallow water like that. If they can get in there, they'll go in if the water color's right. Because once they get in, it's going to deepen up. You saw how the channel got normal after I got in, but you've got to be able to get in. If those fish aren't going to go in there with that watercolor like that and with that little bit of access. So we're going to have to watch this one, wait for a couple more rains that we do have in the forecast, come back out and check it again. Now let's go to the next creek. We're at location number 2. It's getting a little chilly. I had to throw on a beanie. I want to get down to this creek down here and see what it looks like. Not nearly as much debris. You got some water clarity. Now it's brown, don't get me wrong, but this is stained brown. This is not chocolate milk. It's not all the way at the surface. Already, guys, this one looks good. It's hard with the dark skies to really be able to tell what you're looking at under the water, but once we get up high enough, we can see. Going toward the lake, you can see that we've got plenty of water in the creek and that it is not even close to being cut off from the lake. Looking back towards the creek, the watercolor is awesome. Perfectly stained. It's a greenish color, not a brownish color, just stained. It's not clear enough that white crappie won't come in here, but it's clear enough that the black crappie will come in. So it's a good mix creek right here.
I'm excited about trying this one. Now, I've tried this one in the past and been unsuccessful when I thought it should have been good, but that doesn't matter. The good creeks sometimes turn bad next year, so you never know till you try it. So we'll try this one.
All right, guys, this is creek number 2, and that's a solid yes. We are not cut off from the lake, plenty of water. It's deep enough. There's a lot of stumps and timber in the water, brush. Looks good, water stained, not muddy. Great place to check out. Even though historically this creek hasn't done as well for me as I would have liked it to, I'm giving this one a try. It's definitely going on the list. I'm definitely asking to get squished at this location, so we're gonna launch from the inside of the truck. I'm gonna put the drone on the bed cover, and then I'm gonna launch from inside the truck. We'll fly from there, and I'll show you the footage of this. Now, what we're looking for here is the mouth going into the creek or the river from the lake. So sometimes that's so shallow, even when the lake's pretty full, that you can't get through there, even in a John boat. So I'm gonna see what it looks like right now.
This one looks pretty good, except down here where it's about 2 foot deep. But once you get past that silted area, you can get into this creek channel. Probably ought to bring the kayak or a duck boat, something along those lines. I know that just past that bridge, the creek drops off after the silted in areas, and it gets up to 20 foot deep, 19, 20 foot deep. So this is a deep one. This is a main feeder for this lake. So fishing's pretty good in here. Because it is deep, you tend to have to fish structure instead of what you might fish from the bank with a slip cork or jig and bobber. In this one, you're probably going to have to use electronics to isolate brush piles and laydowns in, 10 to 20 foot of water. Even if it gets back a ways in the creek, this particular creek or river, it stays deep. It stays over 10 feet deep.
Some of these creeks, the closest I can get is these highways. So I'm parked on the side of the highway again. I've got to film from inside the truck, fly the drone from in the truck. So nothing to show you here. Throw the drone up. I'll get my remote, put the drone up, and I will show you the footage. This is another creek. I think this is number 5, if you count that last one. So let's see what's in this one.
Oh goodness, no, not this one. This one's clarity is 100%. Guys, that's the bottom you're looking at right there. That looks like swimming pool water. There's no way you're gonna find crappie in this creek. You might walk up from the bank and think you maybe could fish it. Don't even try. Not if it looks like this.
All right, guys, that one was an absolute no. Absolutely not. If you walk up and it's that clear, walk away immediately. You will waste your entire day. Sorry, it's loud out here. You will definitely waste your entire day if you try to walk up on a creek that clear and fish it for crappie. Crappie will not be in water that clear. Black crappie will get in some clear water, but not like that. All right, see you on the next one.
I had to park in a subdivision on this one, and they do not like fishermen, so I don't want them to see me getting out and messing with the camera and flying around the drone and talking on camera. So no intro to this creek, but the only thing I needed to know about this creek right here is if it was sealed off from the lake. It's really shallow in the mouth of this creek, so even when the lake's full, the mouth is real silted in. But I did not know that the mouth swung this wide right, so we're good on this one. This is where we're going to start.
So it's chilly, guys. It's 35 degrees this morning. This is day 2. That last flyover last night, yesterday afternoon, was where we're going to start. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but that creek was pretty clear. But through past experiences and conversations with other people and just overall learning about all of these creeks that I fish in my area, we know that there's a treatment plant of some kind way up the creek from there, pretty far up, that dumps warm water into that creek. So where the lake may be in the low 50s, that creek's gonna be in the mid 60s. So that, number one, that's gonna hold fish, especially bait. And number 2, even with that clear water, it will hold black crappie. Now, we probably won't catch too many whites. We'll probably catch all blacks because of the water clarity, but that's fine with me. Blacks, whites, either way. Black's food source is a little different than white's food source. They combine in some areas, they don't in some others. I'm grabbing the kayak real quick, but dragging it down. The mouth on a black crappie is a lot smaller than a white crappie, so they can't swallow like a gizzard shad, for example, like a big gizzard. A white crappie will chase down a big gizzard shad. A black crappie, they can't do it because they can't swallow it. They can't get it in their mouth. So, that being said, they're going to go in there with those threadfin shad and some of the other stuff like grubs, larvae, insects, and black crappie. That's their food source. So you're going to find a black crappie sometimes, especially in the winter, in a place you just won't find white crappie. Well, this creek's going to be a black crappie creek. It's real clear. It's warmer. It's going to have a lot of threadfin in it. And that's where we're going today. So, well, that's where we're starting this morning anyway. So let's go in there and see if we can get our kayak inside the mouth of that creek. It's really shallow. And then we'll see if we can catch a fish. I'm wearing my wading boots and my bibs this morning. It's chilly. I also brought my waders in case I have to get out and drag the kayak in. So this is the hard work, guys. No one around. There's no one on any shore. There's no one on any parking lot. There shouldn't be anybody on the banks. There might be somebody try to walk in there, but hopefully it's just us. That's the way I like it. Just me. All right, guys, we're underway. I'm all bundled up here. You can't see me, but I am. And try to get my ears covered up and stay warm. We're gonna run side imaging going in so we can watch our depth. It's a little bit of a ride. It's not super close, but it's fine. No biggie. It's about 8:30 in the morning. I didn't get in any real big hurry. I pretty much figured I'd be the only one out here, so you'd be surprised though. You'll think you're gonna be the only one and 10 dudes standing on the bank, but they deserve to be out here just as much as I do, so it's not like I have anything to say about it. So I want you guys to take note. Right here is my water surface temperature. It's 45.77 degrees Fahrenheit. So the water surface temperature in Main Lake is 45 degrees, a little over 45, 45.79. Now we'll watch the water temp once we get inside the creek. And that's going to tell you everything you need to know about why the fish and the bait are in there. Yeah, it's shallow, but it's got enough depth that the fish will swim in. I can tell you that. Water temp's already up to 54 right here in the mouth of this creek. So that's why, guys. I mean, that's an 11-degree swing already. 55. That's a 12-degree swing. So this creek right here is surrounded by private property. The Army Corps of Engineers owns the land, the bank. So if I wanted a beach and get out and walk the creek, I can. If I cannot walk to this creek without getting on private property of some sort. So people do it. If you see guys on the bank when we get in here, they are illegally in here because they had to cross private property to get here. They'll do it. It doesn't stop them. I can tell you that. And we're gonna have to stay back off of the areas where there might be fish because this water's so clear that they'll spook real easy if they're here at all. If it gets this clear, a lot of times they won't come in, not even the blacks. But we're never gonna know until we paddle in here and find out ourselves.
I missed some hookups, guys. I got a couple good ones on the stringer already. GoPro keeps shutting off. The batteries are failing in this freezing weather.
I see fish out there on bottom. We can just get out there to them. There we go. Got him. Whatever that is. Let's see. It's a white bass, I bet. Oh yeah, there's a bunch of those down there. I was really hoping those are crappie, but they're not. They're white bass. Sorry, I got my buff over my face. You guys can't hear me very good. But see all those fish down there? I thought they were crappie. I was hoping they were, but they're not. They're white bass. I mean, we could probably just sit and pick those off all afternoon. But yep, another one. Just one after another, guys. Oh, it's a crappie. Okay, so they are mixed in there. All right, that's crappie mixed in there. Oh, I didn't expect that. Mix of fish right there. I wasn't even concerned about losing that fish, and it's a keeper. I mean, keeper species anyway. All right, so we got a bunch of fish stacked on the bottom down there. So just have to fish for them. Got one. Ooh, nice one. Crappie. Those are crappie sitting down there. That's a keeper. Heck yeah. I'd say I could jig and bobber those, but why? They're 8 feet deep. I just cast for them. It'll be easier. Heck yeah. Come out of here with some crappie. All right, we know these fish their eyesight is really good. So I'm gonna switch from this one to something real bright, like spotted banana. I'm gonna switch to something super bright. Let's see if I can get a strike out of that. See if, because they could see it better. Maybe they'll come after it a little bit better. All right, got one. Little crappie. Okay, so those are a crappie. All right, all right, all right. He liked that little chartreuse bait. He nailed it. We'll see if we're onto something with that. Let him go. See if we find some quality fish in there. Looks like there's potential for that. Got him. Fish on. That feels good. That feels like a good one. Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's a keeper. That's a big one. Bigger than what I've been catching. Those little dinkers. This is a healthy one. Yeah, black crappie. All right. Hopefully there's a lot in here. I can't tell. They're hard to catch. Pretty finicky. But the chartreuse seems to be getting it done. Looks like. Got that one. Oh, he came up after it. Big crappie. Yes, sir. Oh, don't fall in. Don't fall in. Get over here. Heck yeah. Ooh, this one the biggest of the day. Ah, that's a big one. Big old creek black crappie. I knew it'd be probably pretty good in here. I could jig and bobber these guys, like I said, but it's a deep bite, so they're sitting on bottom, 7-ish feet deep. Got him. Oh, big crappie. Nice. Oh, crap, get in here. All right. Yeah, that's a nice one. That's a big one. Yeah, I had to trick that fish. He was following it up, and I just made him chase it up. Shoo, that one was hard to catch. Pretty black crappie, guys. Pretty black crappie. There we go. Got a few. Come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, he's smarter. He didn't get caught. Got one. That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah. Yeah, these crappie are stacked up in here pretty good. They're hard to catch. They're real finicky in this clear water, but it's not an issue catching them if you hang out and just keep doing it. Fish. Oh, cat. That's not what I wanted, but kind of expected to catch a cat eventually because I could see him down there roaming around. Crazy to see a cat hit a jig, but they do. Blue cat. Or it's a channel cat. Channel cat. Let him go. We don't want cats. We're looking for crappie dogs. Oh, I'm getting little thumps. Just little thumps. Got him. What's that? Little crappie. I knew it. Little thumps, little crappie. He's pushing 10. He's probably 8.5. 8.5 maybe. So we know they're in there. We know they're hiding. We just gotta flush them out. Heck yeah. That one's going on the stringer. That's a solid one. I'm gonna be quiet because these guys are over here, but just get this stinking trolling motor to be quiet and sit still. Another one that's just keeper size I don't want to keep. A lot of small ones in here tonight, or today. I'm saying it's not even noon yet. I'm calling it tonight.
Started off out here by myself, but ended up with 5 guys casting at me. Time to go.
Guys, I'm out of here. It's chilly. I'm tired, and I just want to go to the house. It's about 1 o'clock. I got down here about 8:30, so fish about 4 hours, you know, with all the travel time and everything. But I ended up with about a dozen total keepers, some pretty good sized ones. I had about 3 or 4 that were healthy. I threw back quite a few small ones, and I don't know, had a good day, had a good time, got to see what was going on in this creek, and now I could check this one off the list and move to the next one. So I'm gonna go home, charge up all the batteries, and go out tomorrow for another round in another creek. All right, I'll see you guys on the next one.